All right. So, I'm guessing this is maybe the final part. Maybe we'll finally solve this case. Maybe, if they'll let us. But I'm still very confident. I'm pretty confident it's her. Because from what we're understanding, it's like Gumshoe, who was the prime suspect, is pretty much fully clear. And he was in the hallway from, like, I think it's half an hour out. Because the recess was 1 hour. Was supposed to be 1 hour. About halfway through that, Gumshoe arrives and is standing outside. The victim and the other prosecutor was already in that room, and neither of them came out. No one went in. So that, in my eyes, that means the crime had to have happened before that. So that, and that the only other person in that hallway was Miss Yu. So I think it has to be her. I think that's the only thing that makes any bit of sense. Okay, so this must be the other room, right? What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is it? Isn't that Detective Bad and K over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. Ah, she's got a little bit of perfume. No, that's not quite it. Aw, too bad. But it's so pretty. I think you're a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, guess I can let you keep it. Thanks. I'll treasure it always. Those two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. Got something else for you. Yay! Thanks, Uncle Bad. I want to see what's gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean gumshoe? Gummy is. He was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. And he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Varday would be sad if he saw you cry. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's you, mister, from before. And the lady, too. Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in an investigation, so it's best for you to do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant. So, I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids not to mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? Yes, big problem because I think she's a killer. I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. Yes, what is it? I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find a real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of a perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be a true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Ah. Did she go through the bars? Did she go through the bars? Because this window is the closest window. The room. I didn't mean to leave. No, go back. I didn't mean to leave. So, the room that happened is right where this wall where Edgeworth is facing. The closest window to this one in that room is open as well. One of the windows in this lobby is open as well. The air conditioner is working just fine in this room, so why did they open it, I wonder? The decorative plant leaves are shinier than the ones on the plant in lobby number 2. That's probably because it's next to the windows where it's easier to photosynthesize. You may be right. Plus, the curtains are always drawn in lobby number 2. The caretakers of this courthouse don't think enough about the plants, do they? That's because they're the courthouse caretakers, not a bunch of botanists. I can see down to the courthouse courtyard from here. What is that mess supposed to be? It's like an optical illusion. I believe it's supposed to be a post-mortem in design. More like thoughtless in design. I can't disagree there. Let's see. Nothing important here. I think we're just supposed to talk to him. Detective Bat, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, my boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. It sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. That ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell's still here. Perfume. Well, that sweet scent in the air is perfume. Yeah, they're really starting to like push you towards Miss U here. Well, it gives off quite a stench, but it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. 100% a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. I was born for much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as you just so happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? So now we have the perfume Miss U wears. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigate. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. So you were in this room the entire recess. Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in the lobby with Miss Yu.
Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then what you are saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in two different locations. They're 100% pointing towards Miss Yu here. 100%. It's so pointing to her. They're just like, hey, look at her. Look at her. I can't wait for the game to suddenly turn it and it not be her. It's her sister that died. The windows were open so her spirit could fly away.
Guess I am.
Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Let's see. Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on that case.
You knew?
I also know that today's trial involving the Kodofian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident.
If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright if I told you.
Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident.
It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were indirectly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell.
Wait, is the lollipop? Wait! Wait a minute. It's a lollipop! It's not a cigarette, it's a lollipop! Wait. You didn't show that before, right? Whee!
The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we three were involved in the KG8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring.
You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries?
That trial was just a front.
A facade?
Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
And what became of the secretary who was arrested?
His name was Colin Devoir. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devoir was probably being intimidated by a big boss man, just another scapegoat.
The boss man of the Amano Group. You can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Romano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Romano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Kochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once for her murder... Mr. Faraday, how could you let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both.
Miss Yu did mention that as well. But how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister.
Even I was supposed to protect them. I fell into their trap.
What kind of trap?
The holes in the jacket are a testament to that trap.
Oh, those are gunshots? You mean you were fired upon? You were shot that many times in one gunfight?
No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself. The lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident.
I see. I mean, to a degree, Manny could have a tie in this still, too. Like, they showed him briefly, but... What if Miss Yu did both the whole time? What if she's in on the smuggling ring? Because the perfume is from another country. This perfume is from another country, he said. So this could have been a spoil she got from that.
I couldn't protect CCU. The suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. That's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu.
About when you first met Miss Yu? It was on the day of the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not?
Yeah, Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring back my sister, she said. Then she gave me a hard slap across the face.
Well, she certainly has a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough.
I suppose not. You said it yourself, that she never wanted to see either of us again.
But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct?
Yeah, Faraday and I, even after the KJ incident had come to a close. We continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked on so many different cases. But the results were always the same. Couldn't find a real mastermind behind the ring.
Is that ring really that big?
I was in the pursuit of the ring that we met Miss Yu once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I was the lead detective. Took to the witness stand. Yu. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending.
Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them. Yeah, this definitely sounds like she's part of the smuggling ring. 100%. Like, I definitely feel like this is implying she's a part of the smuggling, and the smuggling ring sent her in to try and protect their people. At least that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer.
I don't think so. I don't think she is. I think she's in on it.
I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason.
Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. I got my own agenda. I'm still on a hunt for leads regarding the KGA incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only thing I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him either. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable.
You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are.
How dare you insult a daughter of a Von Karma?
Just like us, you felt that she had hit a limit of what law could do. That's all.
The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it. Only the skill of a craftsman.
You two, still young. But one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the same smuggling ring. That's all.
So what is your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well.
I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. Okay? I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I would crack quite a few cases together.
You two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Did we touch a nerve?
I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove the Rell was not the real Yatagarasu. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either.
I sense that there's more to the statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me?
What you two should be looking at for right now is proof of murder's intent towards Faraday and Rell.
I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu.
What?
The KG-8 incident and this second KG-8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point of which they differ. That is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. O claimed to be the Yatagarasu, however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edwards, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time.
A reason, huh?
And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu.
If it'll help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu.
What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. And now you do it on purpose. Poor Edgeworth. It still accidentally whipped me anyway.
There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu also always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever.
I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits.
Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape. Never tries to draw anyone's attention. And will never do so, as lowbrow as commit murder.
Never tries to draw anyone's attention. Then why did, like, think back to case 1. Whoever that mysterious person is that supposedly Yatagarasu draw a gun against Edwards, because that's drawing attention to themselves in that moment. And, like, if the lights was on, they would they would have been screwed. Like, if Edwards actually would have, like, tackled them or, like, try to catch them, they would have been caught as well. Like, why take the risk of Edwards potentially, like, taking you down and capturing you?
That's how I knew that Rel wasn't a real Yatagarasu right away.
You can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't.
Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time? Was it that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police? And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodovian embassy. The Yatagarasu.
The Yatagarasu sent the evidence.
Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about.
In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it?
That's easy.
Had the card with it, didn't it?
The special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure.
Just what sort of card is it?
Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, the white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with this white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
Ah, and that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Well was a phony. I mean, I wouldn't count that as being fake. Like, him being fake, because like, if you know what it is and, like, you're getting questioned about it, like, you just play dumb, act like you don't know it. Does that instantly mean you're not guilty? Like, I kind of find that logic stupid, but it's the logic they're going with, so I guess I'm stuck with it. But, like, I very much disagree with that logic. I did not read that. Thank you very much. I have much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edwards? Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you?
Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive.
I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edwards. It appears that his honor is still a bit disturbed. For time's sake today, I experienced what it's like to stand at a witness stand. Now I have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony.
Well, there's no reason for you to get all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdicts.
Francisca, there is no need to further depress his honor.
But I'm not trying to, Miles.
Your honor. Your honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your honor, the evidence... Your honor! Oh, yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir.
Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job?
Yes, sorry. And I would expect that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, that the evidence was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them as your investigation of their case. Understood, Your Honor. Pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case. And maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I place all the evidence over there at the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. So this is the evidence related to today's Kodopian Embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag.
You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right?
Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself, not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time.
Agreed. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the embassy murder too.
And why is that?
Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about.
Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something.
And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today.
I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma.
It's also real to see a knife up close.
We have a knife, the gun, an envelope. And what's this organizer doing here? Oh, right. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside the evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that?
What a strange stroke of luck.
Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it, too. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it.
Looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell is a killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested, and a surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one.
It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in this case.
The sound of the handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell is not the real Yatagarasu.
It also appears that he had no proof that Mr. Rell was not, and no proof that had proof that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu.
No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony,
If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. And apparently he also had a very definitive piece of evidence. It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rel may have made about the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rel was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organized a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Look, there's a picture stuck between these pages here. That's a key. Is this some kind of like master key that can open any door? Is that how Yatagarasu can get through any lock? It appears to be a key. And a rather ornate one at that. Let's look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu key Mr. Faraday was mentioned in his organizer? The Yatagarasu's key? Detective Bad said something earlier. You have it this time with something only Faraday knows, select you know about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret and key safe. As a prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. Wait a minute. It's the same pattern on this knife. The knife has the same pattern. It also kind of looks like there's a hole on the bottom of the knife, too. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? And it's never crossed your mind that you use your writing crop for the wrong purposes. That's all. What is it? Miss Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Caribbean embassy staff member was a gun. But if that's the case, then where did this knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious it was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rel? This is the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it would not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? You need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere on Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edwards, can I take that fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. It was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought to the courthouse. I think it might be the key. Nothing really makes sense because, like, I was noting the key and this knife have similar handles.
Take that!
The Yatagarasu's key that Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. Viewers need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and the ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Nope, one turn. It's quite simple, it's quite easy. Wahaha. Both the Yatagarasu's key in this photo and the murderous knife has a very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarasu's key, the only object found at the crime scene was a knife. You don't seriously mean to say? It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that two key pieces are in fact one and the same. Oh, so I think if we mess with the knife, we can get it to flip to the key. But that's impossible. Even if that's what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife a little more detail. Yeah, see right here. I can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was such a trick to this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key to the Yatagarasu store. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of his piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea he was holding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yatagarasu. Then maybe Mr. Rao was the real Yatagarasu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rao was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, when we questioned Mr. Rao about what was sent along with this white card, Rao had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else in person is the real Yatagarasu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. This gun. It was originally used to kill the Kodofian embassy staff member. The crime scene was reported. The responding police officer found Mr. Rao still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. Took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned. Because of the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
A simpleton of a man, that's what he was.
Perhaps he was. For the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Well was caught in the act on film by a security camera.
He was an even bigger simpleton than I'd thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera.
The Cadobian Embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area.
So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself?
Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear.
So the footage included the sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me either. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. That piece of missing is the surveillance video that was played in court.
The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
Video showing the moment in which Mr. Rowe committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence?
Yes, I'm finished.
However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of evidence of the prosecutorial evidence.
Your Honor, where did the illicit video? Were you
What? No, I do not look at my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor. The most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene. Something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers, I see. I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime. Defendant lobby number 2.